Hello, friends and family. It's been a very long time that I've been talking about this online course, and here is it right now. And you that have the opportunity to watch me, I know it cost you a token before you can watch me. Thank you so much for the love, and thank you for making me one of your number one YouTube coach. You know the online course is all about catfish business. So if you want to grow very well, and if you want to be successful, and if you want to make profit in this catfish business, this online course is actually for you. I know there is nothing new in this thing, but if at all you have the opportunity to watch this video to the very end, I know you are going to get one thing or the other in this video. So thank you so much for all the love, thank you for all the comments, and thank you for encouraging and strengthening me to do more of this. So I so much appreciate, and you're welcome to this private YouTube course. Thank you so much. So before I go into the content of this online course, I'd like to tell you my name. I am Simeon O. James, and it's getting up to 7 years now I've been in this business. So with that, I'm able to gather one or two things from this business to you so that you can watch it and gain something, and so that you too can be a master in this business. Don't forget, here I'll still tell you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get the free content we share on our YouTube channel. So don't forget, just subscribe to our YouTube channel and get more of these catfish videos out there. I titled this online course Guideline to a Profitable Fish Farming. Guideline to a Profitable Fish Farming. And inside this, I do it a kind of episode by episode that you are going to watch and you are going to enjoy it. But before we take it, I would like to start with history of catfish farming in Nigeria. In Nigeria, in the days of our fathers, there is nothing like this ponds of a thing. But there is a way they do their own catfish business in those days that suits them. There is a way they do it that convenient them, and there's a way they do it and they market fish and they eat fish in those days. I told you there is no fish pond in those days, but they are eating fish in those days. So there is no freezer for them in those days, but they are eating fresh fish in those days. So there are ways they do it then. In the land of the Yorubas, in the land of the Hausas, and in the land of the Igbos, down to the land of the Benues, the Benis. So we have a lot of water in Nigeria, and all our waters are blessed with different kind of fish with different colors, different beautiful fish with different color, different shape, and all these fish are edible and they are very sweet. So in those days, what our father do is they don't have pond to keep their fish and they don't have feed to raise their fish. So what they do is they make a canoe. In those days, things are natural, so all of them, they usually find a way to do something that will convenience them at their own season. So in those days, they make a canoe. So for those of us who don't know what a canoe is, this is what a canoe is. So, and they will get a bamboo tree that is very long, that will be higher than the depth of the sea or the depth of the river they are going to fish in. In River Benue, or the river that passes through Nigerians, all our old men, our old fathers, they have gone for fishing inside them all. So it is nothing new to them. So we these days we are scared of water, but in those days, most of the men that go fishing knows how to swim very well. Even if their boats sink, there are ways they help each other get out of the water because they are professional swimmers. So they go there with their boats and they get the bamboo tree that will be longer and higher than the depth of the river they are going to fish. So after they reach there, they will take their bow with them to drive the canoe. This is what a bow is. So they take their boat there to drive the canoe. So, and the space is big enough for them to put whatever fish they are going to catch. So once they go there with their net. Actually, I don't know the name of this net, but our elderly men will still know the name of this net. So they will go there. Once they reach there, they will try to spread once they see enough fish, they'll try to spray the net on top of the water. So the water already, the net already have lead, so the lead will sink down. Once it sinks down, it will meet together. There's a way it happens. It's not a miracle, though my dad has done this before, but I never get the chance to do it, you know. So it's a beautiful thing for them. It's what they love doing, what they find joy doing it in those days. So once it's sinking down, they will start pulling it up. So once they pull it up, they will gather the fish that are inside and pour it inside the canoe. So they will still dry it and still do what? Do the same thing until they catch fish. When they are satisfied, they will go back home. And sometimes if they don't see fish, they do go along with grinded maize, anything that they can just use to entice those fish so that they can come out to the surface of the water before they spray the net. So they will go with all this, with things like that. They will have the grinded millets, grinded maize, and any other thing they can use to entice the fish. So they spray it on the water, on the surface of the water. So once they see the fish come out, then they spray the net on them, then they capture those fish. So this system is the system they are using in those days, and it's very, very beautiful. But in this our own century, we decided to make earthen pond, concrete pond, and the one of tarpaulin pond, so that we can keep our own fish. And to crop them is very, very convenient. It's very, very easy for us because we have already captured them right from the beginning. But in those days, they go fishing and they capture them. So it's a natural ways of doing things in those days, and it is very, very beautiful. So those who do it in those days enjoy doing it because that is what they are trained to do, and they are very good at doing it. What are the fundamental study of catfish? You know, basically I'm talking about catfish here, not every other fish, but catfish. So what are the fundamental study of catfish? So as you can see, catfish love swimming in a high volume of water, in a very big water. They love swimming very well. Catfish can eat mortality of any kind. If it is goat, if it is cow, whatever mortality it is, if you throw it inside their pond, they will eat it and finish everything. So catfish love eating mortality. Catfish will never shed weight until they are starved. If your catfish are not starved, there's no way they are going to get leaner, so they will keep on getting bigger. But once your catfish are starved, they will be shedding their weight. We learned that catfish eat enough feed. They love eating, they like eating, and they will take it in a very large quantity, especially when you have the hybrid. So they are going to eat it, they are going to eat enough feed. I talk about this outside the channel too, so you can check some of the video outside there too. So they eat enough feed. Catfish will cannibalize each other. We have different videos of cannibalization, and you can even check on YouTube. We have different. So the animal, if one animal is bigger than the other, so that animal will cannibalize the smaller one. So we even have it in human being, you know, but that is not what the study is all about. But I just want to talk about the one of catfish. So you can't compare a catfish that is big like this to the one that is small like this. So that is why I said you don't starve them. If you starve your catfish, if you starve this big catfish and it's inside water with this small one, so this one will find way, it will chase this one and cannibalize this one and eat this one up. That is when they are not uniform. But if they are uniform, there is no way their mouth will size each other, so they won't be able. Even if this one chase his mate, it won't meet the mate. Even if they meet, it won't be able to kill or to swallow it. But chasing this one and to swallow this one will be very, very easy because it is very, very small. That is why you need to get a uniform fish. So you get your uniform fish and you put them inside the pond. And if they are not uniform, try to make them uniform. So the aspect of making them uniform is to give them feed that will size them, and you feed them to their satisfaction. You feed them until they are tired of eating. If you feed them and this one is tired of eating, it will leave that place for this one to eat. So that is when this one will not have the opportunity to eat. So once this one eats, it will grow and meet this one. Well, this doesn't happen all the time, but catfish doesn't swim out of the river like that, except the water is overflowed and the sea that yes, this is an opportunity before catfish will even follow the water that is overflowing. It will first of all check if the place it's going to reach is good. If it's a good source, it will now follow it. But if it's not a good source, catfish will not follow a water that is overflowing. You know what, I see this thing whenever time I'm kind of fixing pipe in some of the ponds. So when the water is going out, you see some of them, they will be running back because they are not used to it. But once they see that the thing is happening very well and the water is very big, they will go with it. But catfish doesn't swim out of overflowing water like that. But before they do, I'm not saying they don't, they do, but before they do that, they will first of all consider if the source is very good and if they can actually escape. Catfish don't die that much except they are being affected with one disease or the other. So if your catfish are not affected with one disease or the other, there is no way your catfish will die. Also, catfish like places that are cold, places that are cool, places they can run to hide when it's sunny. So catfish love places like that. So you should always think of digging a very deep pond so that your catfish can run to the deepest side of the river to hide. So catfish, they love places that are very cold. Catfish will eat under water and on top of water. So that is the reason for floating and the reason for sinking. Sinking sometimes add weight to catfish more than the floating. But floating will make catfish grow faster and bigger more than the one of local. But both the local and sinking catfish will eat. The final thing you need to know about the fundamental study of catfish is that catfish love fresh water. Catfish love swimming in fresh water. So if you are taking inlets, taking your water in, I talk about this too outside the channel. So if you are taking water in, catfish will do well and they will grow very well because they love swimming in fresh water. So we move to the number 2 of our online course, and that one I will talk about fish source. Fish source has to do with where did you get your fish from, how did you get your fish, what size are they, this and that. That is what this number 2 is all about. You have to get your fish from a very good source. If you don't get your fish from a very good source, there are some things that may likely happen to your fish if you stock them in your pond. Is that they grow or they don't grow? And that is what will lead me to the advantages of getting fish from a good source and the disadvantages of getting fish from a very bad source. Number 1 of the advantages of getting fish from a very good source is your fish will grow very fast. They will grow very fast. Whenever time you stock them, they will be growing very fast and they will be eating healthily. Number 2, they will be healthy. They will be healthy, they will be strong. Nothing will happen to them, they won't fall sick or no disease will just be on them. So they will be very healthy. Number 3, less mortality. You won't have, once if your fish are not affected by any disease, how will you get mortality? So they won't have mortality, and when they are uniform, they won't be able to cannibalize each other. That is why you need to get your fish from a very good source where they sort fish for you, so that too will be okay. The disadvantages of getting fish from a very bad source is just like vice versa. Your fish will not grow very well and they won't be healthy, and what will happen to them again? You will be seeing mortality because they will be affected with disease. The reason why they won't grow very well is because some of these breeders, they don't use quality broodstock. Broodstock are the parent stock of all these fish, so they won't use matured one and they won't use quality one. And most time the eggs are not fertile enough. They will just manage to do it and give it to you like that. And some of them, they won't bring the fish up, like raise them very well. They won't treat them with good things, maybe like feed or any medication. So, and if you are experiencing all these things, this will lead to loss of profit, and this too will lead you to loss of interest. So all these are the disadvantages of getting fish from a bad source. So what are the sizes you are going to meet and the place you are going to get your fish from this fish source? Is that you get the fingerlings, you get the post fingerlings, you get the juvenile, and you get the jumbo size, whichever size you want to get, so you can get it from the fish from the place you are going to buy the fish. The fingerless, post fingerless, juvenile, and jumbo. Those are the size you are going to buy. As their size increases, their money increases. But if you are a novice, if you don't know how to raise fish, or you are just starting new, you don't need to get fingerlings or post fingerlings. It will be very, very difficult and hard for you to raise them from that level. You should start from juvenile size, and if you have the money to buy the one of jumbo size, it will be okay for you to buy the one of jumbo size. The more their size increase, the more their price increases. This will lead us to the number 3 part of this online course: feed content and feeding aspects. How did you feed your fish, and what are the content of feed you should use to feed your fish when raising them? If you are raising your fish right from the juvenile or the post fingerless, if at all you can raise them from that level, so what are the contents of feed you should give your fish? Now I would like to talk about protein, because that one is very, very important. You shouldn't get feed that has less than 43% protein. You should get the one that have 43, 44, 45. We still have the one that have 52% protein. So all this will help your fish to grow very well. And if you check other content, you will see that they are very, very good to raise your fish. But if you are getting feed that have less than 43% protein, that means you are putting the life of your fish at risk. So they won't grow very well, and you won't even get a better result when you finally raise them to a table size or any size of your choice. Take note of this: the more the feed size increases, the more they will be reducing some of the content. Why? That is because when they, like our children, if they're raising them from the baby level, you see they'll be taking milk. So when they reach some extent, you start giving them pap, you started giving them different kind of things, so they will be increasing. So that is how it is like fish. So when they are small, they need something that will make them to grow and do very well. And once they start growing big, so you will reduce those things, and you'll be giving them things that will make them to have fat and weight. So you have to give feed size to the fish, to the size of the fish they do the feed for. They make 2 mm for juvenile size. They make 3 mm. Juvenile will still take 3 mm. So once you are escalating to the one of 4 mm, you should know your fish should be in jumbo size. So the one of 1 mm should be for your fingerlings. Then we have the one of 1.8 for your post fingerlings. So you give the number of to your fish at the level they should take that size. So you don't give 3 you don't give 4 rather to fish that is supposed to be taking 2 or 3 So, and you don't give 2 to a fish that is supposed to be taking 1.8 So that is very, very wrong. That is one of the way to make your fish to grow very well. So you remember I told you that at their level, they will be taking fish with a very good content that will help them to grow. And if you are rushing them, you are giving them what they are not supposed to take, that will be affecting them. Even some of them will be dying, because instead of taking like 3 or 4 of 2 and you are giving them 4 if you even take one, that one will be enough for the fish, and to swallow, to digest it will be a problem. You will just start seeing your fish dying. So that is the reason why you should give the fish the size of feed to the fish that wants that size.